Every journey has a turning point, a moment when the scenery begins to change, the roads feel different, and you realize a whole new adventure is about to begin. Today, Luna is taking us from New Zealand's spectacular alpine heartland towards the Canterbury coast. We'll discover one of the world's best places to look at the stars, visit a tiny stone church with one of the most beautiful views anywhere in the country, meet some very hardworking four-legged heroes, sample delicious local flavors, and finish the day beside the Pacific Ocean, thinking caps on because today is full of surprises. Leaving Twizzle behind, we're briefly retracing part of yesterday's journey before turning towards Lake Tekapo. Sometimes, road trips mean traveling a familiar road. But here's the funny thing, the same road rarely looks the same twice. This morning, the mountains seem brighter, the lakes sparkle differently, and Luna somehow makes every kilometer feel like a brand new adventure.
I still think Luna secretly enjoys mountain roads.
She certainly seems happier than we are before the first cup of coffee. Soon, the brilliant blue waters of Lake Tekapo come into view. Unlike the dramatic wilderness of Lake Pukaki, Lake Tekapo feels peaceful and welcoming, almost as though the village has grown naturally around the lake instead of beside it. Only around 500 people call this little village home, yet visitors travel from all over the world to experience its incredible beauty. Whether you're enjoying a quiet lakeside walk, kayaking across the calm water, or simply sitting on a bench watching the clouds drift by, Lake Tekapo has a wonderful way of encouraging you to slow down. Sometimes that's exactly what we all need. Standing quietly beside the lake is one of New Zealand's most photographed churches, the Church of the Good Shepherd. Built in 1935 using local stone, it was created as a memorial to the pioneering families who settled this rugged, high country region. But what makes this church truly special is what you won't find inside. Instead of colorful stained glass windows behind the altar, there's a single clear window, and through that window, the lake, the mountains, and the ever-changing New Zealand sky become part of the service itself. It's a beautiful reminder that sometimes the greatest artwork is simply the world around us.
Imagine having that as your Sunday view.
I'm not sure many churches could compete with that. Just a short walk away stands another local landmark, the famous Sheepdog Memorial. It honors the remarkable working dogs that helped build the Mackenzie Country. Without these intelligent dogs, managing enormous sheep stations across mountains and valleys would have been almost impossible. They weren't simply pets, they were trusted working partners. Many farmers still rely on them today. Watching a skilled sheepdog at work is truly remarkable, sometimes responding to nothing more than a whistle or a quiet command.
He looks ready to round us up next.
Judging by our navigation skills, he might have his work cut out. One of the reasons Lake Tekapo is famous around the world isn't actually the lake, it's the sky above it. This region forms part of the Aoraki Mackenzie International Dark Sky Reserve, the largest dark sky reserve in the southern hemisphere because there is so little light pollution. The night sky here is extraordinary. On a clear evening, thousands of stars become visible. The Milky Way stretches overhead, and distant galaxies can even be seen through powerful telescopes at Mount John Observatory. It's one of the few places on Earth where darkness itself is carefully protected. Sometimes the greatest view isn't in front of you, it's above you. Leaving Lake Tekapo behind, the landscape begins changing once again. The golden tussock slowly gives way to greener farmland. Rolling hills replace rugged alpine peaks. And before long, we find ourselves surrounded by some of Canterbury's richest farming country. It's amazing how quickly New Zealand transforms. 1 hour, snow-capped mountains surround you. The next, you're driving through peaceful countryside that feels completely different.
I think New Zealand changes scenery faster than I change socks.
To be fair, that may not be setting the highest standard. Our next stop is the charming town of Geraldine, which is one of those places that immediately feels welcoming. Tree-lined streets, independent shops, friendly cafes, and a community that takes great pride in producing some of New Zealand's finest artisan foods. For a town of only a few thousand people, Geraldine has earned a remarkable reputation for craftsmanship. Whether it's handmade chocolates, locally produced preserves, or award-winning cheeses, quality always seems to come first here. Sometimes the smallest towns leave the biggest impression. No visit to Geraldine would be complete without stopping at one of its famous artisan cheese shops. New Zealand is known for producing excellent dairy products. But here, cheesemaking is treated almost like an art form. Using milk from cows, sheep, goats, and even deer, local cheesemakers create an incredible variety of flavors. Now comes the important part, the taste test.
This one smells interesting.
That's usually either a very good sign or a very dangerous one. Joe takes a bite, pauses thoughtfully, then smiles.
Yep, definitely worth stopping for.
So scientific research has officially been completed. Just a short drive from Geraldine lies Peel Forest Scenic Reserve. Stepping beneath the towering native trees feels like traveling back in time. Some of these giant podocarp trees have been growing here for hundreds of years, long before roads, cars, or even the first European settlers arrived. Then, as you hear native birds call from high above, the forest floor is covered in mosses and ferns, and every step feels wonderfully peaceful. This is one of the few remaining examples of the forests that once covered much of New Zealand. Walking here reminds us just how precious these ancient ecosystems really are.
It's amazingly quiet.
Sometimes nature doesn't need to shout to leave an impression. Our journey continues to the little farming town of Pleasant Point Home, to one of New Zealand's best preserved heritage railways. For many years, railways like this connected small rural communities across the country, carrying livestock, produce, mail, and families between towns. Today, volunteers keep that history alive, restoring steam engines, historic carriages, and even one of New Zealand's rare Model T Ford railcars. As the old locomotive whistles into life, it's impossible not to smile.
I think trains have a way of making everyone feel like a kid again.
Especially when they still puff real steam. By late afternoon, the mountains begin fading behind us, and something we haven't seen for several days comes back into view. The Pacific Ocean. Welcome to Timaru, a relaxed coastal city where life moves at a different pace. After days surrounded by alpine peaks, watching waves gently roll onto Caroline Bay feels almost surreal. Caroline Bay is one of New Zealand's favorite family beaches, with beautiful gardens, walking paths, playgrounds, and calm waters protected by the harbor. It's the perfect place to end today's journey.
This morning we were surrounded by mountains. Now we're standing beside the sea.
That's one of the things I love most about New Zealand. You never have to travel far to discover something completely different. Today has been a wonderful reminder that New Zealand is a country of incredible contrasts. We left behind snow-capped mountains and some of the darkest skies on Earth, visited a tiny church with one of the most beautiful views imaginable, met the hard-working sheepdogs that helped shape the Mackenzie Country, sampled delicious local flavors, walked beneath ancient native trees, traveled back in time aboard a heritage railway, and finished beside the Pacific Ocean. Every kilometer revealed another story, another landscape, another reason to slow down and appreciate the journey, because sometimes the road between the famous destinations becomes the greatest adventure of all. Thinking caps on. Which famous landmark beside Lake Tekapo was built in 1935 to honor the early pioneers of the Mackenzie Country? A. Mount John Observatory. B. The Church of the Good Shepherd. C. The Sheepdog Memorial. D. Tekapo Wharf. Drop your answer below. Check the leaderboard and tell me, would you spend the evening stargazing at Lake Tekapo, tasting artisan cheese in Geraldine, or relaxing at Caroline Bay? I'd love to know.
We have a winner, and I am not being chill about it. Someone just took that leaderboard apart like it was light practice. Moves were intentional, timing was locked, confidence unbothered. Big congrats to our champion, you absolutely showed out. Your notification is about to land quicker than a live patch update. Keep an eye on your comments. We'll grab your details and get that prize moving your way. Smooth process, zero chaos. Didn't see your name this round? Don't switch tabs on us. This isn't a one-off highlight, it's an ongoing storyline, and the next chapter is about to drop. Fresh reset, clean board, new energy. So power up those fingers. Because the next spotlight, it might land right on you. No hesitation, no slow reactions, no watching from the sidelines. Stay bold, stay sharp, stay locked in. Let's see who takes it next.